Hermitcraft is one of the most legendary SMPs in Minecraft history, and many of the server's members have come and gone throughout its long lifespan. But what if I told you that one of these members tragically passed away, and that another turned out to be a disgusting creep? In this video, we'll explore why these members left and where they are today. Let's begin with one of Hermitcraft's initial members, 777 Static, 777, or Sean. Static had a short run on the SMP as he only made 10 episodes on it before leaving. He was most known for receiving Corrales' guest house and temporarily living in Nether Fortress, which he named Castle Static. Soon after his departure in early 2013, Sean continued making Minecraft videos until July 2015 before abandoning his channel for years. He'd make a return in May 2020, but unfortunately it was short-lived as he left again only 2 months later. Since then, he's been inactive except for a few tweets in 2023. Brenny Beast was another of the server's first members, yet you probably wouldn't know that since he never made content on the SMP because he had a poor internet connection. Hermitcraft's founder, Generic B, had invited him to the server and viewers saw Brenny in other members' videos. One memorable thing he did while on the SMP was blow up some of Izumavoid's house. Like Static, Brenny didn't spend much time on Hermitcraft and was only part of its first season. As of writing, his YouTube and Twitch channels have been dormant for 2 years. He last tweeted in July 2022, but is somewhat active on Instagram. Brenny runs a decal printing business and manages drift events for Keep It Reet in Victoria, Australia. He also has a wife and child. Co-star, or Justin, was a Season 1 member who only recorded 1 episode of Hermitcraft, but eventually deleted the video. All the audience saw from him on the server was the creation of his house since he joined the SMP as the first season was ending, and he wasn't an active player. Co-star last uploaded to his YouTube channel in early 2020, but streams every day on Twitch and has done so for the past 10 years, which is an incredible accomplishment. He also rarely uses Twitter. Marnix, better known as Cube Hamster, was part of Hermitcraft's first season and was recognized for his extraordinary redstone capabilities. During his short time on the SMP, Cube Hamster worked on multiple farms and pranked other hermits. After 5 episodes, Marnix abandoned the server in late 2012. He infrequently uploads to his YouTube channel and hasn't streamed on Twitch for 6 years, but he occasionally uses Twitter to share his remarkable redstone builds and updates about a game he's working on called No Mori. Nathan, also known as Dinnerbone, was one of the first hermits. In case you're wondering, yes, this is the real Dinnerbone, and it's crazy to see that he once played on this server. However, he didn't spend much time on the SMP as he only streamed on it twice before departing to work at Mojang. Unfortunately, these live streams are unavailable, and there's no footage from Dinnerbone's short time as a hermit. Nathan hasn't posted to his YouTube channel or streamed on Twitch in years, and his last tweet from July 2022 talks about health issues and harassment he was dealing with. I hope he's currently doing well and has recovered. Generic B, or Judson, was the founder of Hermitcraft and was labeled the Hermit of Minecraft. He's most remembered for teaming up with Topmass, Biffa, Hypnotized, and Izumavoid to take down the Ender Dragon in Season 1. Despite being the server's founder, he only appeared in its first season as he left after making 93 episodes on the SMP. Once he departed, Izuma took control of Hermitcraft as the server admin. Years later, in 2017, Judson wanted to join the SMP again and filed a request, which was rejected. Some of the hermits believed that Generic B wasn't well suited to return to the server, and since all members must unanimously agree when adding a new player, he wasn't allowed to rejoin. Judson also felt they denied his request because he hadn't made Minecraft content in a long time, and that's where the discussion surrounding this matter ended until 2021. In June of this year, Generic B decided to play a prank on the Hermitcraft community by making several tweets where he insinuated that he'd be returning to the SMP for its 8th season. After these posts, on the day of Season 8's inception, he fired up a stream where he straight up lied to the viewers by acting like he was playing on the server and even faked Minecraft chat messages with the hermits to fool the audience. However, this trick rubbed many the wrong way, especially since some fans donated to him and it all ultimately backfired. Some hermits like Wells Knight and Hypnotized called him out for his shady behavior and informed fans that Generic B was lying as he was still not allowed on the server. Once everything came crashing down on him, Judson apologized for his actions and donated the proceeds from his stream to charity. Regardless, Generic B's YouTube channel is inactive aside from dual streams he does on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. Like others, he hardly uses Twitter. Mark_IRL is another Mojang employee who is one of the first Hermits. Mark streamed on the server 4 times before abandoning it to focus on work, and like Dinnerbone, there are no videos of him on the SMP. It's unknown what exactly Mark did on Hermitcraft, but his online presence is limited to occasional tweets, as his YouTube and Twitch channels haven't been active in ages. Sean V. Martin joined Hermitcraft in its first season and made a few different builds throughout 11 episodes before burning out, which is when he left the SMP. Sean uploads drum covers to his YouTube channel every so often, frequently tweets, and mainly uses Instagram to post pictures of his daughters. Sokar was a Season 1 Hermit who never made a single video on Hermitcraft. It's unclear what he did while on the server, but viewers saw him in Izuma and Red Eye's first episodes of Season 1. He hasn't uploaded in over a decade, and his Twitter has been inactive for over 3 years. However, Sokar responded to a comment on his last video where he discussed how and what he was currently doing 4 months ago. I won't go into too many details, but I'm really good. I finished my master's degree and work as a computer scientist who specializes in applied mathematics, numerical optimization, and data analysis. I live with my girlfriend who works in a similar position. I occasionally reminisce about Minecraft and YouTube, but given where I ended up, I think things worked out just fine. I might make a small update video someday to let the few people who still wonder know what's up. Until then, this comment will have to do. Luckland, or Ethan, was introduced in Hermitcraft's second season and only made 4 episodes on the server where he built his home. He hasn't streamed or uploaded a video since 2021, but is active on Twitter. He's now developing a battle royale game called Insula Bounty Royale. Sarah, also known as Dutroid, became part of Hermitcraft at the beginning of its second season. Like other former Hermits, she never posted videos from her stay on the server, and instead streamed on it a few times. Sarah built a bridge in Old Hermiton during these streams, which was Season 2's spawn village. She also had plans to tax the SMP's members, but never did so as she left Hermitcraft sometime after joining. Sarah's socials are all inactive at this time. Kylie, better known as Venom Kisser, joined Hermitcraft at the start of Season 2 after receiving an invitation from Generic B, and like others, she only streamed on the server. Kylie was good friends with one of the other Hermits, I Am Spoon, and she regularly assisted him with his builds. Aside from this, Venom built her ice cream sandwich house in Old Hermiton and a giant staircase that she planned to transform into a Zeus statue and Mount Olympus, but this never came to fruition. Soon after the Hermits moved to New Hermiton, Kylie was taken off the server's whitelist, and it's believed that the reason behind this may be that she didn't make much content on the SMP. At some point after her departure, Kylie rebranded to Flower Child VT. She often streams on Twitch and YouTube with her VTuber model. Kylie also routinely uses Twitter to announce her streams. King Happy or Phil entered Hermitcraft when Season 2 began and recorded 11 episodes during his time on the server. While on the SMP, he built different things like a jungle temple, bunker, and nano farm. He also wanted to make a large tree near his swamp base, which would surround the witch farm, but Phil abandoned this project. As his time on Hermitcraft concluded, Mumbo Jumbo and Phil continually pranked each other, which he's fondly remembered for. Soon after this prank war, King Happy left the server as YouTube had taken down his channel. Thankfully, YouTube realized this was a mistake and reinstated it, but Phil chose to leave the SMP behind. Phil hasn't uploaded to his YouTube channel or tweeted anything in years. Kirshar was one of Hermitcraft's first players who participated in Seasons 1 and 2. Generic B invited him to the server, and during its first season, he made a mob farm and a sky base using snow, coal, and lapis lazuli blocks. However, Kirshar eventually got bored of playing Minecraft and left the SMP for some time after only recording 1 episode. He returned soon after Season 2 started and claimed the bunker as his base. Its entrance was booby-trapped, and there were farms right outside the bunker. One of these farms had a pig stuck inside, which Kirshar named Black Magic. But his comeback wouldn't last very long, as he departed again after making 7 episodes and was removed from Hermitcraft's whitelist following his leave. Kirshar eventually took down all videos he made on the SMP, and he's been gone from the internet for over a decade. Red Eyes played in Hermitcraft's first and second seasons. While his building skills weren't considered the greatest, Red was exceptionally good at making mob farms and working with redstone. He made 28 episodes in Season 1 where he built his small base and some mob farms, but didn't get to do much else since his job limited his availability. In Season 2, he continued creating mob farms and began building cactus farms. Unfortunately, he only recorded 5 episodes in this season and then left because of work, which sucked up all his free time. Red Eyes hasn't uploaded or tweeted in almost 10 years. Unhost was present for seasons 1 and 2 of Hermitcraft. He made 12 episodes in the first season and was most known for being welcomed to the server by Izuma in a video on X's channel. However, Unhost only built his base in season 1 as he didn't play much on the SMP. He was even less active in the second season with only 8 recordings. After this, he left Hermitcraft to work on his other videos and eventually departed from YouTube to focus on his real-life obligations. Unhost returned years later with one final video in 2019 where he updated his audience on his current whereabouts. Unhost stated he had been working a job he thoroughly enjoyed, but it came at the cost of his spare time, so naturally he stopped creating content. Although he did stream Minecraft on Twitch only 3 months ago. Aurelian or Aaron got her start on Hermitcraft in season 1 until she left in its second season. During the first season, where she made 9 episodes, Aurelian partially made the Hermit hut, which was her base, and helped Topmas build a gentleman's club. Aaron was also frequently pranked by other SMP members. In season 2, Aurelian pranked other hermits in the 6 recordings she did on the server. After these videos, she left Hermitcraft and as of a few years ago, stopped making YouTube content. Aaron streams on Twitch once in a blue moon, but regularly uses Twitter. She now works as the Riot Games head of player community. Jameson, also known as Cilantro Gamer, was in seasons 1 and 2 of Hermitcraft, where he only streamed on the server. In the first season, he built his home, which he called Cilantro's Whacked Out Witches Huts, and made a base. In season 2, Cilantro had plans to create a desert base, but instead made some redstone devices and a wheat farm. Jameson was last seen on the SMP helping some of the hermits with their battle against the Ender Dragon, and soon after this, he was removed from the Hermitcraft whitelist following a server reset because he was a relatively inactive player. Aside from occasional Twitter activity, Cilantro no longer has an online presence. Mark, better known as Juictra, joined Hermitcraft's first and second seasons after receiving an invitation to the server from Generic Beat. He made a small igloo-like home and built a village in season 1 during the 25 episodes he uploaded. Juictra also blew up a copy of the SMP's season 1 map with some other hermits for the season finale. Mark came back for the second season where he lived in the clay house in Old Hermiton, and after this he left Hermitcraft for a brief period. When he returned, the members had moved to New Hermiton, where Juictra started building a new house. He also began creating a potion shop named the Juice Bar, but unfortunately this build was left incomplete. After 11 episodes in this season, Mark left the server. He hasn't uploaded a new video in over 3 years and last streamed on Twitch 2 months ago, although he often tweets. The Pixel Nerds were Hermitcraft's only trio who partook in seasons 1 and 2. The group consisted of Alex, Joe, and Josh, who joined the SMP halfway through its first season after Topmas, a former hermit and friend of the boys, invited them. They made numerous impressive builds like a floating castle and a brewery in the shape of a rocket. The gang also pulled pranks on other hermits throughout their 14 season 1 episodes. When season 2 rolled around, only Alex and Joe played on Hermitcraft, as Josh had seemingly left the group. However, they only recorded once on the SMP where they started building a windmill. After this video, Alex departed from the Pixel Nerds and the content on the channel came to a screeching halt. 2 years later, in 2015, Joe returned with an update video stating that the boys were busy with real-life responsibilities like education and lacked time to dedicate to the channel. This upload was the final Pixel Nerds video, and since then, the only online activity for many of the members was some Twitch streams on Joe's channel back in early 2022. Steve or Skysm played in Hermitcraft's first, second, and third seasons. When he joined season 1, he participated in a prank against X and Biffa, and following this, he remained on the server for 45 episodes. Steve teamed up with Pungence to make several builds, and he also blew up a copy of the SMP's map with some other hermits at the end of the first season. In season 2, Skysm linked up with Pungence again, but this time it was to pull mischievous tricks on other players. These shenanigans eventually landed them in jail, where they recorded multiple episodes from the 77 videos Steve made during this season. Lastly, in the third season, Skysm built a small home and participated in race for diamonds with Pungence. Soon after, Steve was wiped from Hermitcraft's whitelist, presumably for his infrequent playtime throughout this season, as he only filmed 8 episodes. All his socials have been dormant for years. Matt, also known as Topmas, was a hermit from seasons 1 through 3. He helped in the season 1 fight fight against the Ender Dragon by assisting with the collection of the blaze rods required to craft blaze powder for the Eyes of Ender throughout 90 episodes. In the second season, Matt mostly spent his time building his second gentleman's club in his home's basement across 33 episodes. When he returned in season 3, Topmas built a base in the mountains of Hermit Hills and made a minigame named Lucky Break in the Hermit Thrills area. After 19 episodes this season, Matt called it quits and left the SMP to focus on creating music. Apart from Twitter, Topmas is inactive. Devin, better known as Marilyn, had a short stay in Hermitcraft's second season as he only made 7 episodes on the server before leaving. The only notable thing he did was build his base, which he named the Buzio Bay. Devin was whitelisted on the SMP for season 3 but never joined. Marilyn was last active online in November 2023. Sean, or Spumwack, appeared in seasons 2 and 3 of Hermitcraft. In his 73 season 2 episodes, Spum started a business named Spum Co. and a subsidiary called Muse Manufacturing. Additionally, he built the Muse Manufacturing HQ, which turned into his base, and owned Muse Meats, a store in New Hermiton. Sean also had the honor of being the judge of the Pungent and Skysum vs. Hypnotize trial. Spum created a swamp base in season 3, but unfortunately his time here would be short-lived. Soon after returning for the third season, Sean stated he'd discontinue his Let's Plays, which meant no more Hermitcraft. In his 22nd episode of season 3, he wrote farewell messages to the other Hermits before permanently departing. Sometime after his leave, Spum unlisted his Hermitcraft content and made it private years later in 2021. Sean's been gone since late 2022. Daniel, or Zul'jin, took part in Hermitcraft seasons 2, 3, and 4. When he became a hermit towards the second season's end, Zul'jin assisted some other members in pranking Hypnotized and King Daddy D-Mac by stuffing their base full of cacti and sand. He also built a home in New Hermiton throughout 39 episodes. Daniel made more builds in season 3, such as his Hermit Hills Castle and Izea, a store based on IKEA. Additionally, he was an Exhibit co-founder. Exhibit was one of the server's first businesses that owned Izea and other shops. He made 103 episodes during the season. Season 4 was Zul'jin's last, and he didn't do much of note here. Daniel left Hermitcraft halfway through its 4th season. He's currently active on YouTube and also regularly uses Twitter. Justin, also known as Slipgator, formed part of the 2nd and 3rd seasons of Hermitcraft. Slip built his New Hermiton home and base, which he called the Ribbon, in season 2. Justin was also Skysum and Pungent's lawyer in the trial against Hypnotized. He recorded 81 episodes during the season. In season 3, Slip made a wide array of builds, which included his Hermit Hills home, the server's convention center named Crown Hall, and his 1/8 base on a secluded island. On top of that, he created the Gas Foundation, an organization committed to fighting against those who wrongly placed torches. Justin made 78 episodes in season 3 and then abandoned the SMP. Slip was whitelisted for season 4 but eventually removed, most likely due to inactivity. Justin quit content creation in late 2021 to live at sea with his wife and corgi. Monkey Farm started his Hermitcraft journey in season 1 until his departure in season 3. Monkey began building his island base in season 1 but left it incomplete as he stopped playing on the SMP after recording 15 episodes as its first season concluded. When he returned for season 2, Monkey built one of Old Hermiton's most legendary creations, a giant skull with sunglasses and headphones. He had Mumbo Jumbo make an elevator that the Hermits could use to enter the skull, but sometime after the members established New Hermiton, Monkey created a large tree that allowed everyone to see the entire village. Additionally, he opened up Monkey Farm's Bad Advice shop in the town's shopping area. Here, the Hermits could toss a diamond into a hopper to receive bad advice like, creepers are very friendly mobs and should always be approached, or always dig straight down. These events all occurred across 36 episodes. In season 3, Monkey constructed Monkey Lake. This build was a huge base located in water. He also made a massive statue of himself, which held up a Death Star named Monkey Island. He made 65 episodes during the season before discontinuing his Hermitcraft series. Monkey Farm briefly appeared in season 4's launch, but never recorded on the SMP and left at at the end of 2016 following a year of inactivity. However, Monkey eventually expressed interest in returning to Hermitcraft and contacted Izuma. Unfortunately, X denied his re-entry because the SMP was full. Monkey Farm stopped uploading to his YouTube channel 3 years ago and hasn't streamed on Twitch since then, but he did release a music track on his second channel in early 2023 and tweeted a few days ago as of writing. Joe, better known as Pungence, began playing on Hermitcraft in Season 1 until he left in Season 3. Like others, Generic B invited him to the server, and in the first season, he only made some minor and unnoteworthy builds with Skysum throughout 25 episodes. In Season 2, Joe and Skysum earned themselves an infamous reputation as the SMPs criminals, and as previously mentioned, they eventually got themselves arrested and sent to trial. Pungence recorded 56 episodes during the season. Lastly, in Season 3, Joe engaged in a race for diamonds with Skysum, and after posting only 5 episodes, he became an inactive hermit. Pungence was whitelisted for Season 4, but kicked off the list soon after. Aside from YouTube, he's inactive. David, or King Daddy D-Mac, was a hermit in Seasons 1, 2, and 3. The first season was relatively uneventful for D-Mac, as he only built his base and made an iron farm during the 23 episodes he filmed. However, the 70 Season 2 episodes David made had more to offer him. He made various builds like his new Hermiton home, a skeleton spawner base, and a circular island. D-Mac also opened a restaurant named D-Mac Donald's and an investigative firm that worked with the server's newspaper, the Hermiton Herald. Lastly, he was the prosecutor and bailiff of the Skysum and Pungence vs. Hypnotized trial. Season 3 was another slow one for D-Mac, as he only made 31 episodes in which he built some farms and a new base before burning out and leaving Hermitcraft. David was whitelisted for Season 4, but since he never joined the SMP again, he was eventually booted off the list. He remains active on Twitter and YouTube. Jesse, also known as Jessassin, was a member with very sporadic activity, as he only played in chunks of the 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 6th seasons. In his 30 Season 1 episodes, Jess built a home at spawn and an underwater base. He also partially made an underwater dome. Jesse spent little time recording during Season 2, with only 5 episodes up on his channel, as he mainly streamed on Hermitcraft throughout this period. Although Jess didn't do much here because his time was limited, so he only played in the server's Christmas event and created a bridge that linked Old Hermiton to Hypnotized and Venom Kisser's homes. Jesse skipped Season 3 and returned for Season 4, which was his shortest with only 3 episodes. The most notable thing Jess did was an achievement spam, meaning he tried to get as many achievements as possible within a short time frame. Jess then missed Season 5 and reappeared for Season 6. Jesse recorded 5 episodes on the SMP where he claimed some islands and got reacquainted with Minecraft after a 2-year hiatus from the vanilla game. Since then, Jesse hasn't played on the SMP again, but unlike others, Jess remains on Hermitcraft's whitelist as he works on its backend, which helps the server run better. At the moment, Jess only uses Twitter. Craig, better known as Python GB, participated in Hermitcraft Seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6. In the 3rd season, Python built a village and his Hermit Hills floating island across 23 episodes. Craig created the Sea Town, a redstone store, and joined the Logfellas in 48 Season 4 videos. Python built a mansion and set out to make an underground base throughout 62 Season 5 recordings. Craig tackled numerous monumental builds in Season 6, such as Tower Bay, the Lake of Life, and the Aquatica Dome, during the 55 episodes he made. While Python was interested in returning for Season 7, he eventually changed his mind and was removed from Hermitcraft's whitelist. Craig is inactive on all social media apart from Instagram and YouTube. He runs 3 channels where he posts Terraria, Minecraft, and varied gaming content. Biffa 2001 was an active hermit from Seasons 1 to 6. In the first season, where he recorded over 100 episodes, Biffa helped other members kill the Ender Dragon. Biffa mainly made different builds in Season 2, like his old and new Hermiton homes and base. He also owned a business named Biffa's Bakery. He recorded 78 episodes during the season. When he returned for Season 3, Biffa built a base near Hermit Hills, where he planned to make a museum called Biffa's Museum of All Things. Additionally, he created a couple of mini-games in Hermit Thrills and a server event named The Head Games. He filmed 75 videos in the 3rd season. Biffa's time in the 4th season was short-lived, as he only uploaded 26 episodes. Throughout these videos, he set up a small base consisting of a double chest, crafting table, and furnace. Biffa also opened up another shop called Biffa's Spawner Shop. Season 5 was brief for Biffa, with just 20 videos where he allied with Wells Knight to found the original Hermit Order, which rivaled the new Hermit Order. The 6th season was unmemorable compared to the others, and after 29 episodes, Biffa called it quits and left the server. Years later in 2021, Biffa took down all his Hermitcraft content, but he remains consistent on YouTube as the City Skylines creator. This next former Hermit was exposed as one of Minecraft's most awful degenerates. Samuel, or I Am Spoon, was one of the first members who played in seasons 1, 2, and 3. In season 1, he gained infamy for spooning other players, which meant he'd fill their bases with melons. Sam also made various builds like the establishment of Spoontology and an unfinished melon block castle throughout 22 episodes. Spoon relocated to Old Hermiton and built a new establishment of Spoontology in season 2. Additionally, he aided in the brawl against the Ender Dragon across 12 recordings. Sam spent very little time in season 3, where he moved to Hermit Hills in 2 videos before being removed from Hermitcraft's whitelist. Despite his removal from the SMP, Spoon continued making content, mainly on Twitch, until he uploaded his final video in February 2019 after being inactive on YouTube for years, where he expressed his preference for streaming and disinterest in continuing to make videos. Sam said he'd keep streaming as long as he feasibly could, which wouldn't be much longer. Over a year later, in June 2020, multiple women spoke out against Spoon and alleged that he had engaged in sexually abusive behavior against them in addition to other reprehensible actions. Once some of these allegations surfaced, Sam released a brief statement on the 21st where he apologized, admitted to his foul conduct, urged people to believe the victims, and announced that he'd be leaving the internet indefinitely. On the 24th, Twitch permanently banned his account in light of the controversy. We can only hope that Samuel never returns and receives the help he needs. But scumbag aside, let's conclude the video with the truest hermit of them all. Edward, also known as Tinfoil Chef, was and still is one of the most beloved Hermitcraft members who played on the server from seasons 2 through 9. Oh, and he loved mining. In the 2nd season, TFC made numerous builds like his Needful Things store, Motel 1.7, and his initial base named the Very Humble Abode. He also played in the SMPs UHC events and ABBA caving tournament. Tinfoil Chef built the Great Green Hairy Eyeball in a bunker below a tree farm that was his base in season 3. Additionally, he created an association named Coffee, which fought against the Tea Eaters. TFC first built a house of cards before destroying most of it, and instead made a massive diamond in the 4th season. He also made the Great Underground Tree System, or GUT for short. Tinfoil Chef made his version of a co-star build from the Co's Quest series in season 5. This build was a giant castle which took TFC ages to make. In season 6, Tinfoil Chef built a vault inspired by those from the Fallout games with 6 separate floors, each with a unique purpose. TFC started building a tower in the 7th season, but unfortunately it was left incomplete as Tinfoil Chef faced various health issues. He even had to have his right leg partially amputated, and these ailments would only worsen with time. TFC planned to create an improved edition of the season 7 tower in season 8, but he couldn't play for some time because of motion sickness and migraines. However, season 9 was Tinfoil Chef's last, and he wanted to make ugly builds, but sadly never got to make many. He only made his ugly little tree farm, an ugly as sin starter houselet thingy, before tragically passing away at 63 on August 13th, 2022, after years of health problems and 564 episodes of Hermitcraft. His sister detailed what happened to him in a statement. It started a few weeks ago with coughing. He said he broke a rib and wouldn't go to the doctor. He got a little better and did it again a couple of weeks later. Still no doctor. Said there isn't anything they can do but wrap it up. His cough wouldn't stop. Pain in his back and his arms. He called me at work Tuesday and asked for an ambulance. I did that. Got to the ER at 9:30 or so and finally got him a bed in the ER at about 6 p.m. I stayed with him a while more. Wednesday morning, he got a room in the ICU. They wanted to do a scan and he requested to be sedated. He didn't come off the ventilator. The scan found stage 4 prostatic cancer that had spread through his back and hips. Also found he had E. coli in his blood, and early his temp got to 107 and he suffered a stroke. Tinfoil Chef's regrettable death created an outpouring of support from Hermits and fans alike. Some members honored TFC with an act as simple as lighting a candle, and others shared kind words about him. Scar and Cub even built memorials for Tinfoil Chef on Hermitcraft. Viewers paid their respects by donating to his family or leaving heartwarming comments on videos. You'll continue to find people saluting this king when looking at a TFC comment section, and it's incredible to see that the audience still remembers this terrific man over a year after his passing. Keep leaving comments, and above all else, mining in Tinfoil Chef's honor. I think it's what he would want. May he rest in peace. Fly high, TFC. But these were the stories of Hermitcraft's former Hermits, and it's interesting to see that many are gone while some remain active. Each ex-Hermit contributed to the server in one way or another, and it's essential to document their activity on the SMP so it's not lost to time. I hope that all these individuals are doing well with whatever they're doing, and they realize that they were a part of one of the most glorious Minecraft servers in history. Thanks for watching, take it easy, I'm out of here.